Hello friends, very good morning. Today I will continue again the mapping population lecture. In this lecture I will tell in detail about some of the mapping population. In earlier lecture the point I was telling in objective point of view. Here I will tell in depth about some of the mapping population, their characteristic feature, advantages and disadvantages associated with them. Okay, let's begin. So we will begin with F2 mapping population. F2 mapping population, how we obtain it? We obtain it, it's a progeny of F1, and by crossing this parent, selected parents we cross, and the F1 we obtain, and the selfing of this F1 progeny, we get F2 mapping population, which is the simplest mapping population, which is very suitable for preliminary mapping of oligogenic traits. And in minimum time, the best minimum time, which mapping population you can get for biparental mapping population, the answer will be F2 mapping population. Okay. Then this population is short term. It's not for long term. For example, whatever individual plant you are getting in F2, you will extract the DNA, and till you have that DNA, you store in freezer or deep freezer. That is. Till that time you have that population only. After that you don't have that. That's why it's a ephemeral mapping population. This population represent its genotypes are completely heterozygous. Now completely heterozygous for all the loci. These see, we select parent, contrasting parent. These parents are different for lots of genes and loci. So for whatever genes and loci they are different, so in each individual in the F2 mapping in individual they have different. That's why genotype. Like each plant is different, represent a different genotype in this this F2 population. That's why each F2, it represents a unique combination of linkage block from the two parents. This is very important factor. That each F2, it represents a unique combination of linkage blocks from the two parents. And this is the basis for the detection of linkage between the pairs of loci. Then it is the basis of linkage mapping, your mapping. Okay. So now this F2 mapping population, you obtain it with single meiotic cycle. Single meiotic cycle, A cross B, when it goes in F1, that is single meiotic cycle. That is one round of recombination. Only one round of recombination is taking place there. And that round of recombination only you will consider in mapping. Now how it segregate? Segregation occurs. It differs with dominant and co-dominant marker because it is heterozygous population. So with dominant marker like RAPD, AFLP and ISSR, when you are genotyping your F2 mapping population with dominant markers, your population will segregate in ratio of 3:1. And when you are genotyping it with co-dominant marker like SSR, RFLP, S and P, it will segregate in 1:2:1. This is the basis of genetic analysis, inheritance study. Now, how much generation you need to create this population? Only 2 generations, which is the minimum time which you require to develop a biparental mapping population. And whatever the best suitability of this mapping population? The best suitability that it can estimate additive dominance and epistatic component of the genetic variance. That is advantage over other mapping population like RIL and double haploid and other. Now the recombination event, which is the loci which you map, it belongs to either parent. That is either A, either B, because you are getting the F2 now. In that F2, each individual plant they have different genotype, and that is from either A or either B. Okay, it's not homozygous, it's heterozygous. That's why the recombination event you are considering, you are getting it from either of the pair. Okay. Now this mapping population is ideal for what? For mapping the heterosis loci of nucleus. Okay. Which this is also advantage over other RIL and DH. And now the limitation. The limitation of this mapping population is that you cannot grow it in replicated trial. So you cannot go for precise phenotyping of quantitative traits. That's why it is not suitable for mapping QTL mapping, for fine mapping. Okay, it is suitable for mapping, for preliminary mapping it's suitable, and for oligogenic trait mapping. So that is its only limitation associated. Now next mapping population is F2 derived, F2 is to 3, that is F2 derived population. This F2 derived population, how you get it? You cross your parent, you get F1. You self it, you get F2. This is F2 mapping population. Now you self it again. Then by selfing of F2 progeny, you get F2 derived 3. That is F2 3 population. This population introduced in 2005 by Smither. This mapping population is also short term ephemeral. So now again this mapping population is heterozygous. Okay. But what is its each F2 individual plant is individual plant progeny. But it has advantage over F2 mapping population. What? That it is suitable for mapping oligogenic traits which are controlled by recessive genes, and also it is suitable for mapping QTL. This is the advantage over F2 mapping population. Okay, if someone asks you why you need F2 derived 3 when it is similar to F2, then it is its advantage. Again, and what is disadvantage over F2? Disadvantage is that here you are getting it in one season, minimum time. Here again you need one more season. Okay, more time. This is limitation. And also the F3 plant, the genotype and phenotype, it will not correspond to this F2. Okay, then matlab ki whatever here the genotyping and phenotyping result characterization you did in F2 mapping population, it is not going to correspond with your same characterization of the F2 derived F2 is to 3 mapping population, F2 derived population. It will not correspond. Now its disadvantage over this F2 is it do not estimate this dominant, over-dominance and epistatic component of genetic variance, which F2 mapping population is estimating. Okay. So these are some points, like when it is asked in ARS means you differentiate and or you similar and different points, so you can write like this. Or even in some interview also they used to ask. Now again another mapping population is backcross. Backcross is again how you obtain it. First you are crossing selected parent, then you are getting F1. This F1 you are crossing it either of the parent, either A or B. This mapping population is again short term, ephemeral and heterozygous. Now this generally we go for test cross, that is back crossing with recessive parent. Like when F1 is back crossed with recessive parent, that is test cross. When you are back crossing it with recessive parent, you have two segregation ratio, 1:1, 1:0. Now when your molecular marker which you are using for trait phenotyping, considering for this genotyping, is dominant molecular marker, and this marker is present in coupling phase with respect to the target trait, the trait for which you have phenotyped, target trait. When you are using dominant molecular marker for your genotyping and it is present in coupling phase, repulsion phase, coupling phase, two component of linkage. Coupling phase with respect to this target trait, the segregation ratio will be 1:1. And if it is in repulsion phase with respect to the target trait, then it is 1:0. And for codominant marker, it will be either it is in repulsion phase or coupling phase, always segregation will be 1:1 for the test cross. Remember it. That means when you are crossing it with recessive parent, that's why it is more preferable for developing that cross population. Now, when you are back crossing it with dominant parent, when you are back crossing it with dominant parent, when the dominant marker is present in the coupling phase, you will get no segregation for this dominance. You will get, it will segregate like 1:0. And for codominant marker and dominant marker both, when they are present in repulsion phase, the segregation ratio will be 1:1. So that's why the preferable is test cross. But when you have to study dominance trait, gene is dominant, then you have to go for dominant pattern crossing. So what is advantage of this mapping population? Advantage is that you can apply it for marker assisted back crossing. Now what is marker assisted back crossing? In further lecture I will explain. Now what is limitation of this mapping population? Limitation is that again you have more generation, like this F2 derived 3, this F2 derived population, it is taking one more generation than F2 mapping population. So it is disadvantage. And now since you have to do again crossing, so it's additional work it required, and the recombination event is only from one parent. और किस पैरेंट के साथ है? जिसके साथ आप इसे क्रॉस कर रहे हैं. जैसे यहाँ पे तो आइदर पैरेंट के साथ है, यहाँ पे एक पैरेंट के साथ है. तो ये हो गया. Now next is double haploid. Double haploid, how you get it? You are crossing parent, your selected parent A cross B, you are getting F1. अब इस F1 को आप हैप्लॉइड प्रोड्यूस करोगे. कैसे प्रोड्यूस करोगे? इस F1 के एंथर या पॉलन का आपने कल्चरिंग किया. Using tissue culture technology, anther and or pollen of this F1 you cultured under laboratory condition, then you are developing the haploid, and now you are doubling the chromosome of that haploid using Colchicine treatment. Then you are getting a double haploid. ठीक है? ये क्वेश्चन बहुत आता है, how you are doubling haploid Colchicine treatment और कैसे they stop the spindle apparatus formation. Again this population is perpetual, मतलब long term. It's not ephemeral like F2, F2 derived 3 and back cross. And it is homozygous. It is not heterozygous like this. ठीक है? तो in a best minimum time, the homozygous population you will get, the answer will be double haploid. Now what is its advantage over RIL? RIL के ऊपर इसका advantage है कि like RIL it do not give residual heterozygosity. मतलब रेसिडुअल हेटेरोजाइगोसिटी इज एसोसिएटेड विद रिल मैपिंग पॉपुलेशन व्हिच इज नॉट एसोसिएटेड विद डबल हैप्लॉइड. तो ये इसका एडवांटेज हो गया. अब इसका सेग्रीगेशन आइदर फॉर डोमिनेंट मार्कर, कोडोमिनेंट मार्कर, इट विल बी 1:1. व्हाई? बिकॉज इट्स अ होमोजाइगस लाइन. अगेन इट इज प्रोडक्ट ऑफ वन मियोटिक साइकिल, जैसे कि आपका F2 है. लेकिन बट द फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ रिकॉम्बिनेंट it is much more than F2 mapping population. Frequency of recombinant R, that is क्या है आपका ये किस frequency of recombination जो R है आपका, that is for double haploid it is R, and for F2 mapping population it is R minus R square divided by 2. So it is much less than R. Okay, so even though it has only one meiotic cycle, but it has frequency of recombination is more than F. It is suitable for mapping both qualitative and quantitative trait. And time. It is again, time is again advantage over RIL mapping population. RIL, for development of RIL, it take more than 3 or 5 generations. And for this, it's like F2. Same, you are like F2 mapping population you are developing. It's same time it's taking. So it's the best possible minimum time you are developing a mapping population and getting homozygous and perpetual mapping population, which is suitable for mapping quantitative traits also. Now what are disadvantages of this mapping population? Disadvantage is that it is tissue culture dependent. It requires tissue culture technology. Again, greenhouse technology. That's why it requires more skilled laborers and more trained laborers and technicians, and it is not suitable for mapping heterosis QTL, which F2 is suitable for. So that is its disadvantage over F2 mapping population. Then again it is not only it will calculate additive cross additive interaction. Now, the development of haploid is also not it has not obtained for all the species, plant species. Even for in a plant species, for genotype to genotype, the haploid culture varies. That is again another disadvantage. For some of the crop where it is successfully reported, wheat, rice, barley, and pepper, and some others also. But it's not widely applied everywhere. That is some of the disadvantages associated with this. Now again we have another mapping population also, RIL, NIL, CSSL, which I will continue in next lecture. I hope you are enjoying and you are understanding and you are getting something from this which will helpful for you guys or somewhere point. Thank you.